here. This is the Juxtaposition 1 Zoom class. This is the Star Chamber Investigations. And this is where we look into felony crime, murder most foul. And tonight we have what potentially may be, it's preliminary, could be a Gladio murder, which will involve military NATO soldiers if it turns out to be a Gladio murder. We have 3 people dead, one of whom is a first lieutenant, United States Air Force. He's 25 years old, and I'm going to lead with the Air Force, the only of the 3 that is an officer and active duty status, United States Air Force NATO, stationed at Wright-Patterson Air Force Base out of Dayton, Ohio. This took place a week ago, Saturday last. Go back to last Saturday, and then a week before that, sometime in the wee hours of the morning, October 25th, 2025, 3 people were killed. We're told a story by the media is not corroborated. There's no independent witnesses that saw any person get killed. There's not a single witness that's come forward in this case. There's no murder weapon that has been found, that has been stated as being found. No murder weapon has been identified. There's been a reference to a pistol or Luger pistol. Don't know. They won't give you the type of gun. They won't show you the gun. They won't even confirm that there was a gun. They won't confirm that. So don't believe anything you read in the newspapers, as Sonny Barger once told me at the steam trains above University of California, Berkeley on Grizzly Peak Boulevard. Sonny Barger, when asked, did you work for free beer at Altamont Raceway concert, December 6th, 1969? And he looked at me and said, don't believe what you read in the newspapers, juxtaposition. So I stopped believing what I read in the newspapers after speaking with Sonny Barger. That was like 1977, 1978. He said those words to me. According to Wikipedia, he was in Folsom State Prison for 13 years. But that's not true because, see, I went on a motorcycle ride with him. So you can't be in Folsom in solitary confinement if you're on a motorcycle ride with juxtaposition. You can't be at 2 places. So I already know his Wikipedia page is incorrect. You're not 13 years, or you never did 13 days in jail. All right. So anyway, today's video is going to discuss Human Performance Research Lab at Patterson Air Force Base, the Life Cycle Management Center, where one of the victims worked. 2 of the victims worked at the Human Performance Research Lab, which includes Jacob Pritchard, age 34. He's a civilian employee. His wife, Jamie Pritchard, the mother of 3 children, she works at the Air Base as a civilian employee at the Life Cycle Management Center. It's in a different building than the Human Performance Research Lab. And that Jacob Pritchard is 34 and his wife is 33 years old. And she's the mother of 3 children. And the first victim, or I can't say it's the first victim because I don't know the sequence of the murders. I don't know the time sequence. You can speculate if Jamie Pritchard was murdered first. You should know that Jamie Pritchard was suffocated or strangulated or garroted or who knows what. Could be a manic episode. She's dead, but not by gunshot. Now, Josh, could you just direct your attention to the lower line item? The investigation involves, and let's run through there because I actually count 7 different investigation agencies are currently active in this incident. Okay. Go ahead, run through your list there.
Yeah, so just on the surface level, the investigation involved the local police, the Ohio Bureau of Criminal Investigation, and the Air Force Office of Special Investigations, which I'm guessing that probably is going to rope in all these other people investigating it.
Okay, well, let me just clue you in here. I told you that Sugar Creek Township is an unincorporated area of Greene County. It has no police. They don't have police. They have a county sheriff of Greene County, and they're investigating this murder. They were the first responders to Jamie. They responded before anyone else. Sergeant Doug Evans is a deputy sheriff sergeant, and he would normally be the lead investigator on this case for Greene County.
And right here, I think that's what
Yeah,
we're
and we
got
got
here.
a little problem. He went
Yeah.
over there around 2:30 a.m. Saturday morning. And then you had all day Saturday to investigate, all day Sunday to investigate, all day Monday to investigate. That's three days that the Greene County Sheriff's Department has been investigating the death of a first lieutenant of the United States Air Force living in Greene County in a brand new condominium apartment. And on the fourth day, Tuesday, that would be 4 days after the murder. That'd be on the 29th of October. Sergeant Doug Evans was placed on administrative leave and removed from the investigation of Jamie Gustitas. Why? What happened?
That's kind of when we were on the last slide, I said this doesn't make sense, and here's kind of our first issue. These people don't know each other, but they're working at the same base, and they're working on very sensitive technology. We have ideas of what that technology is, and then this guy mysteriously resigns after being placed on leave following
He
the
didn't
incident.
resign. He was placed on it, and it was involuntary.
Oh,
He
well.
didn't volunteer. It's involuntary.
Oh,
His boss reassigned him to stay home and don't come into the office. Paid leave. Administrative leave means you get a paycheck, but you're not coming into work anymore until we let you know, till further notice. Okay, this is very important because law enforcement, like the Zodiac, because I'm an expert on the Zodiac case and an expert on the Sharon Tate, Abigail Folger, Lena LaBianca murder case, we're going to play a little game called Who's in Charge? Who's in charge? And I can assure you the person who's in charge is not on television. They don't appear on television. And there is a person in charge, and it's not the Los Angeles Police Department, and it's not the Los Angeles Sheriff's Department. LA has a sheriff's department, and they have a police department.
mafia.
And never at any time were they in charge of the Abigail Folger murder. At no time ever. Okay. But they went through the motions. And I'm here to tell you, in the case of the sheriff's deputy, Sergeant Doug Evans, in 3 days, he is placed on administrative leave. So he's not in charge either for Greene County. He was in charge for 3 days. He was in charge for 3 days. He was the first person to find her dead body.
He
And
probably
he
found
would have
something.
testified at a trial. If there were a trial, you'd have to have the first responders who are sheriff's deputies testify at a trial. Well, now it looks like he won't be testifying because he's no longer involved in this case anymore. Thanks very much. Goodbye. And then you should know that where the other two dead people are located, which is Jacob and Jamie Pritchard, they live in a different city, Huber Heights, in a different county, Montgomery. That means that the Montgomery County sheriffs might be interested in investigating if Jamie was strangulated in her home in Huber Heights. It also means that the Huber Heights has a police department, and they would be interested to know if there was a homicide committed at the Pritchard's home. So that's the police of Huber Heights, the police. That's the county sheriff of Montgomery County. Okay. Then guess where the bodies were found? Neither of those police departments. They were found in Miami County.
Oh, really?
Yeah, in a different county, in a different city. I'll give you the city. The city is West Milton is the name.
Lieutenant Gustitas wasn't just any analyst. She worked within the 711th Human Performance Wing, Strong Lab, as Juxtaposition calls it, and says a directorate with a chillingly futuristic mission. They don't just build better machines, they aim to build better soldiers, blurring the line between human and hardware. Human augmentation is what we're dealing with. She was Lieutenant Gustitas was an analyst in the 711th Human Performance Wing. Its official mission is heavy on the air quotes, human-centric warfare research, education, and consultation. That's their official mission. Their focus areas include fatigue countermeasures, cognitive enhancement, bioeffects studies, optimizing nutrition and training. So you have to ask yourself, is this just about making better soldiers, or is it about something entirely new or worse or evil? So they do publish their research, and I really encourage you guys to look into that. I've uploaded it. All you guys can look at everything that this presentation was based off of in terms of their research. And there's a link right there that you guys can explore on your own. They research includes such publications as heart rate variability metrics predicting strength, rate normalization for sweat metabolics, effects of amino acid gel hydration during aerobic exercises, enhanced physical and cognitive performance, metabolic stability of exercise-induced sweat. They really like sweat there. The official goal is warfighter optimization, but what are the unofficial applications? And if there's any if there's anybody who sees this, you have to assume that there are definitely unofficial applications. Like if you think they're just not doing anything bad with this shit, sorry, I didn't mean to say that, but this stuff, then you're well unaware.
Echoes in the hangars. What's that all about?
Yeah, so this whole thing has really been just another kind of string in the event oddities. About a month ago, there was all these UFO sightings, supposedly black cube drones. There's a video there if you guys, whoever views this wants to watch that on that. But there's just probably a lot of high level military classified technology at this site. And that's probably where you're getting these sightings from. What they did was they did manage to do like a freedom of information request, and they were able to see that they had removed or redacted something on the flight logs having to do with this UFO sighting. So they pulled something off the flight logs, and the Freedom of Information Act thing revealed that. And so I don't know what's going on, but something's going on. Historically, the legendary home of the Roswell investigation and Project Blue Book fueling the Hangar 18 alien tech myths. I don't think they're myths. I think that there's probably technology that's so advanced that it would come off as alien. In December 2024, the mysterious drone sightings led to a temporary airspace closure over the base. See, officials dismissed the drones as non-threatening, but who was behind them? If they come off as non-threatening, that probably means that they're doing it. And to sum this up, the three main theories: it was a deep state or a NATO Gladio murder. Mind controller MK Ultra was involved, and I threw aliens in there because you never know. But I think it's a mix of 1 and 2. Honestly, I think both the Gladio murders, and I think mind controls obviously kind of follows that one around. It just lurks behind it. You know, it follows it wherever it goes. So the players, 3 specialists in advanced military research, don't just die in a random act. Their work was their life and their death, and that's a very safe assumption when you work in this type of thing. It really is more than just like a job you go to. I mean, when you're dealing with the military and the government, it really does kind of naturally creep into your life. The place, Wright-Patterson Air Force Base, it's a known nexus of secrecy. So to dismiss its role is to ignore a history of unexplained phenomena. That is true. Science. The official research into human augmentation and cognitive enhancement walks a fine line. So where does optimization end and control begin? And that is kind of the halfway point.
What are your thoughts?
So my thoughts are, obviously there is some connection between these three people. It's obvious that these three people are under constant surveillance, and I'm going to assume that they shared some information amongst each other that they're not supposed to have or not supposed to discuss, and that would probably put their lives in jeopardy. So
That's a good bet.
I hadn't thought of that.
I think that makes sense.
That's exactly what I
plausible.
was thinking. Exactly. You took the words right out of my mouth, Michael.
Anything else, Michael? I mean,
No,
that's a
that's
very astute observation. Okay. Jennifer, let's go with you. What are your thoughts about this from your background and experience?
Well, I was just, Josh, when you put up what the lieutenant was working on, the soldiering, the augmentation of the human and, I don't know, the human and hardware for better.
We're going to get into that next, but yeah.
I mean, my eyes just popped wide open when I mean, I really woke up with
Oh,
that.
I've got something
so-
interesting to show you in the next half.
Well, and so then I just thought, you know, we recently talked about Erin Valenti and how she talked to her mother on the phone and talked about the thought experiment and it's all matrix, et cetera, et cetera. And so I just immediately thought, wait, maybe this lieutenant talked about something she was working on with the couple, maybe just a friendship type, well, you won't believe what I'm working on kind of thing. And there was a leak of information got out of the lab, because that is dynamite
That
stuff.
makes sense. That makes
That
sense.
is
And what Michael said, I think a combination of that, what you, Jennifer, said and what you said, Michael, I think those two things kind of go hand in hand. And those are really, really good notes. That makes a lot of sense.
I mean, you also have to look at her age, right? The first lieutenant. She's a rising star. They invested a lot in her.
Yeah.
She invested a lot in that. It must have been something very, very serious for them to eliminate her.
You could say that about Abigail Folger also. There was a lot of time and grooming with Abigail Folger, and they murdered her at age 25, the same age as this Jamie Gustitas.
Right. And also, if they're developing these hybrid soldier, robotic creature, human people, they don't want that word to get out, because that's going to be, they're going to consider that national security. And so therefore, you're eliminated if you
Zero tolerance, you're saying, Jennifer, like there's no second chance.
No leaks are allowed here, but you're expendable. You talk, you're expendable. That's how I.
One thing that really just popped out to me is all these individuals that we've looked at, the Erin Valenti and these people are very smart. And unfortunately, on a very somber note, is that when you're dealing with very smart individuals, they might see through the charade, and either in the case of them knowing very like you said, national security, that's the right word to use. Either at that point, if they know too much or they find out too much, they have to be controlled or go away.
Okay, let's go to Mark. I know you have some visceral thoughts on this, I can tell. What do you think about this military? 3 people murdered who work at Wright-Patterson Air Force Base out of Dayton, Ohio.
Well, the 3 people look like, to me, they're professionals and they're well paid. And my experience is that those kind of people are not normally what you would suspect would want to kill themselves or commit murder. And I wish there was more personal stories about what goes on in that base. And this guy, Russ Dizdar, that wrote The Black Awakening, that's a story I've heard where these super soldiers, well, you know, when you have a population that needs to be eliminated, you need people that kind of had their soul carved out of them and can do terrible things. And I imagine that's part of what this Black Awakening book is about. And Josh, I would like you to find out the motivation to keep this story open, because just on the surface of it, I would think that powerful people do not want any investigation about this whatsoever.
It really does hint at something else going on. So the public face officially, the 711th HPW's mission is to advance human performance in airspace and cyberspace through research, education, and consultation. Its public research portfolio is vast, covering everything from cognitive modeling and personalized learning to human anatomy teaming, which is very interesting. They will pair people together, and it goes very deep. There are stories in the psychological domain where they actually carry that over onto almost a psychological subconscious level. It's very interesting. All of these things are just kind of merging into one thing. That's why I kind of said the biodigital convergence is the term that I use, because that's really the grand umbrella here. All of it is converging. All of these different fields of science are converging into one. So publicly, this innocent research, cognitive modeling, the shadow face, whistleblowers allege a sub-unit, the bioeffects division, 711th HPW/RHD, is central to the Pentagon's directed energy bioeffects research program. This research allegedly supports the rapid development and deployment of directed energy technologies, a category that explicitly includes advanced weaponry. So it poses the question, is this the same organization publishing articles on nutritional supplements for airmen? Buried in the report's preface, the answer is a chilling yes. The fatigue study was conducted by the very same bioeffects division. And so now we're getting into kind of the darker things. The goal basically for building the super soldier, and this is, mind you, the very surface level. So really you got to understand what the language is saying, and you got to understand what they mean by these terms, and that's why it's really good to have somebody like Juxtaposition who's very well aware of these terms and what they mean just below the surface level. So the goal, they actively study studies actively seek to enhance both physical and cognitive performance through multimodal interventions. So multimodal, just the mode of operation. So just trying different routes in, if you will. They'll do it any way. They just want to accomplish the goal by any means, basically. The method, a 2013 AFRL study identified urinary biomarkers that could predict a soldier's cognitive performance under extreme sleep deprivation. This effectively allows the military to sort personnel into fatigue-resistant and fatigue-sensitive groups before a mission even begins. So the solution that they proposed, researchers discovered that higher protein intake, which boosts the amino acid tyrosine, is linked to a more awake state. They concluded that nutritional intervention may yield a non-pharmacological solution to combat fatigue, a seemingly harmless discovery. Nutritional intervention may yield a non-pharmacological solution, which to me almost sounds like probably just kind of starve somebody and pump them full of amphetamines or something like that, Because
Yeah, we have a cover story for the public, the citizens, called Precision Medicine, to be paid by Medicare program for Medicare eligible people over 65 years old. You can have your precision medicine delivered by the same exact roadmap for a super soldier. Means it can mean LED lights, photonics, optogenetics can be delivered through light energy.
That's multimodal, what you're saying.
Yeah, multimodal is sound. It could be touch, feeling, sight, skin. tactical. It's more than the just three.
Yeah.
Three is magnetic resonance, pulsing, ringing in your ear, pulsing of electric magnetic energy, EMF. And ultrasonic would be your ring cameras, which is sound-based beaming of energy sound, sonic, like a whale or a submarine. You can use pulsing of sound waves. And then the LED street lights or the LED headlights of the car or the LED lamps in your home or the cans on your ceiling, they have ability to communicate and to tether the human subject to the cloud in the way that a Wi-Fi router can. You can send, you're a node on the network. Your lights, your smart TV, your smart refrigerator are nodes on the network that can send and receive human body area network pulsing telemetry, send and receive using a variety of methodologies.
Let me simplify this. Pretty much human testbed from airman to civilian. The first phase is consensual trials, supposedly consensual trials. Numerous official studies are conducted on active duty Air Force airmen recruited from Wright-Patterson Air Force Base. Most of them are probably really not being informed. I'd be willing to bet that they're probably not even giving any type of consent. And other military installations all around the country, as we're all well aware of. These studies explicitly test the effects of various interventions on physical fitness, cognitive function, and the physiological state of soldiers. The second phase, phase 2, covert deployment. Whistleblowers allege that once perfected on soldiers, these mind-invasive behavioral modification weapons are turned on civilians who are marginalized and dismissed as lab rats and human guinea pigs. Military personnel allegedly move into the community and set up shop for the training mission, using portable directed energy systems from neighboring houses and locations. That might be a factor. Victims report being targeted 24/7 by the same personnel for years, suggesting a long-term training program on live, non-consenting subjects to perfect the use of these weapons. And that is probably our if we were going to have a smoking gun, it might be that. I would believe. Ready? Go. I don't need to watch that again. Let's see. Program is allegedly a modern high-tech military COINTELPRO operation run through nationwide network of DHS fusion centers. As we know, that is Gladio, the network. It relies on tactics like organized community stalking, which uses vigilante groups and deputized civilians as plausible denial patsies to carry out harassment. Victims who speak out are strategically discredited. Their testimony is systematically labeled as unintelligible or more insidiously as product of mental illness, ensuring they are not believed by the authorities or the public. In a stunning admission, the AFRL's own research into information mastery for cognitive warfare focuses on understanding disinformation susceptibility, influence tactics, and how to inform assessment and decision making. So they kind of, in very fancy terms, mind you, they kind of admit that they're interested in offensive, weapons, or offensive weapons, and then disinformation and influence tactics to cover it up. So they really, and if you read their writings in all cases, it doesn't just go for this, but just all of the writings of the people who claim to be in any type of position of power, they'll usually just tell you what they're doing. It's just that people don't read it, or they don't understand it, or they don't care. So for the most part, the information's out there for people to have a clue of what's going on. And what I run into a lot of times is, I've literally compiled like lists of free resources and stuff. And it's like, I'll say, hey, yeah, this is a problem. And people are like, just don't want to read it. It's like, people don't want to read any of the stuff that you compile. And I mean, at that point, you try.
That's normal. That's normal. That's normal. People don't, they'll say, show me the proof. So you show them and they go, I don't want to look at it.
Yeah.
So like, well, then why did you want me to show it to you? You're not interested in it anyway.
I know.
Like, why bother wasting my time with you? You won't read it.